this lesson, we'll look at the ablative case. Our phrase is sub Pontio Pilato from the Creed, under Pontius Pilate, and this contains two words in the ablative form. First, we'll review what we've already done on the cases. So far, you've learned that subject nouns take the nominative case and that they're found on the first line of your paradigm table. You've learned that possessive nouns take the genitive case and they're found on the second line. You've learned that objects take the accusative case and that they're found on the fourth line. And you've learned that indirect objects take the dative case and that they're found on the third row of the paradigm table. So there's only one case left out of these 5 main cases, and that's the ablative. The ablative case is used in several ways in Latin, the most common of which is after certain prepositions. Now, we've already looked at some prepositions that require the accusative case in Latin, and you learned that some of those also govern the ablative. So you can see that prepositions may take either case, either accusative or ablative, or there are some that take both cases, but the dictionary will give you both forms and indicate the case that can be used with those prepositions. A preposition can take on a slightly different meaning when it's used with the ablative case as compared to the accusative. So, for example, in caelum, this is where in takes the accusative. In caelum means into heaven, but in caelo, where in takes the ablative case, means in heaven. The most common prepositions that require the ablative are by, with, and from. And in the Latin Rosary, we can find some examples of nouns in the ablative case. So in all of the examples given below, you'll see a preposition which precedes the noun in the ablative case. A preposition isn't always necessary, and if you see an ablative noun without a preposition preceding it, then you can automatically imply that this noun needs to be translated as by or with or from or even in. Okay, so examples. De Spiritu Sancto, by the Holy Spirit. De means by, it's a preposition, and Spiritus Sancto is the ablative form of Spiritus Sanctus. Ex Maria Virgine, from the Virgin Mary. Ex means from, and Maria Virgine is the ablative form of Virgo Maria or Maria Virgo. Dominus tecum, the Lord is with you. Now, as you know, Dominus means Lord, and tecum you may not have come across before. This is 2 Latin words being joined together. And in Latin that does occasionally happen. It happens in English too with compound words. So cum is found in the vocabulary list for this lesson, and it's a preposition meaning with. So te is the ablative form of the pronoun thee, and it means you or thee, and it's added to cum to make one word, tecum. Dominus tecum, the Lord is with thee. In order, at the hour. Now you can see that in is translated as at in English, and perhaps you remember that when we studied prepositions, you saw that Latin prepositions are sometimes different from the word that we would use in English. So this is an example of that. In, which is usually translated as in or on, is translated as at in this particular phrase. So ora is the first declension noun, and its ablative form also happens to be ora. So we have in order at the hour. Another example, sub Pontio Pilato, which is our phrase, under Pontius Pilate. Sub means under, and Pontio Pilato is the ablative form of Pontius Pilate. Now, a word about adjectives. Just a reminder that any adjectives associated with these ablative nouns also need to be given in the ablative case. So you saw this with Spiritus Sancto, and Sancto is the masculine ablative form of Sanctus, and it's modifying Spiritus or Spiritu in this case. With Maria Virgine, although Virgo is a noun, it's used here as an adjective to modify Maria, and it's given in the ablative case. Okay, another note about prepositions. Those governed by the accusative case often imply motion, whereas those governed by the ablative often imply that an object is stationary. So we saw that back with our example, in caelum, meaning into heaven, a movement towards heaven, whereas in caelo, taking the ablative, means in heaven. So it implies a stationary object. Vocabulary now. This is 6 prepositions which govern the ablative case. Ar or ab means from, ex means out of, sub means under, in means in or at, cum means with, and pro means for. You'll recognize some of those from our English words, particularly ex and sub, and pro we still use in Latin, such as pro forma letters and so on, pro bono. Now, homework. As usual, there are exercises in your text and supplementary exercises to download, and also with those supplementary exercises is your drill schedule that'll keep you working on your review. So that's it from me. Until next time, goodbye and God bless.